Hello and welcome to Hungry Beast. Tonight our theme is download, from digital drugs and a real-life Facebook to people who download the old-fashioned way.
You know, when somebody's got their pants down, they're not really worried about emotional baggage that might get in the way or being judged.
Downloading isn't just digital. People have always needed to get stuff off their chests. Traditionally, it's been the role of counsellors or priests to listen, but there are others we go to, perhaps without realising it, to talk about what's going on in our lives.
Good morning, 6 minutes after 5 o'clock.
The first thing I would do would...
We're just having a bit of a chat.
I've got three main points I want to raise.
Would euthanasia be a viable option? What surprises me is when people are prepared to tell me about things of a very personal nature. After they went into Iraq, I remember when Iraq first happened, we had a Vietnam vet call in to tell us that his son was going to be going to Iraq, and he was in tears. He was upset because he knew what his son was going to be going through, and he was frightened for his son. I think he probably felt that he had informed people, but at the same time, he'd got something off his chest, let some of that emotion out, and this was a place that he could do that.
I can see somebody sit down in my chair and just say a simple thing like, "How are you?" and that person can just be overwhelmed with emotion. I wouldn't think a lot of people would think about a hairdresser as someone that is a witness to a lot of detail that happens in people's lives.
As a sex worker, it surprises me how open people are, but I guess when somebody's got their pants down, they're not really worried about being judged. Sex can actually take up, like, a really small amount of time, so it may just be 10 minutes out of an hour. But for the majority of clients, there's actually a need to spend some time doing other things, like connecting with another person in a very intimate way. But there's also a lot of people's emotional baggage. A lot of the time, dealing with that sort of stuff.
If you're a tradie out there, we want your opinion on this, and also if you've had some... People that call in can range from truck drivers through to people who are up breastfeeding in the middle of the night, people who can't sleep, people who are elderly, or who may have had strokes, who perhaps aren't listened to. Some people are really lonely, and this is their only chance to speak to people at all.
It's always amazing. The day can start with a client telling you, "Oh my God, I'm pregnant, I'm so excited," and your next client's coming in and telling you, "Oh my God, I've just had my 5th IVF cycle fail." Their confusion over their job, the death of a parent, a relationship breakdown. People talk to me about absolutely everything.
You can see it in their faces, like how relieved some people can be, and that tension may not always be sexual. It can be quite emotional. Or it can run deeper than that. It could just be the 1 hour of their week where they didn't feel like they were being judged.
If I've had clients tell me that they're having affairs, I would see both clients. So you're holding a piece of information from one client who has given you that information knowing that you see their partner, and I guess wondering what you're going to do with it. I made a decision a long time ago not to share information.
Hi, Trevor. G'day, Trev, how are you?
We're well. Quite often what happens is we'll start a topic and it will take us away to somewhere else. We were talking about anniversaries, and a young woman called in whose son had died when he was 2. And it was a significant anniversary for her. And it's hard to listen to people in such pain. And she felt lonely and she felt isolated. And this was a contact point for her to be able to talk and to relate. The delightful thing that happens then is that listeners will call in and say that she has support from the listening audience, that there are people out there that care.
Yeah, the top is that you
Excellent. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the program this morning.
You know, we're supposed to be healthy, happy people, but, you know, stuff goes wrong in our lives. Partners die, people come out after years of being married. Society actually doesn't teach a lot of people how to deal with that kind of stuff.
If we don't have the ability to share and experience each other's lives, then we live in isolation, and I think that's pretty much not meant to be.
That was my original plan.
I think we need to get stuff off our chest so that we don't have to deal with it. I don't know whether communities have those places very much anymore, and maybe Talkback Radio is a place that they can do that, they can say what they feel.
The need to be able to emotionally connect with someone in a really, really close and intimate and honest way, in a naked way, is still quite apparent, no matter how, many members of friends on Facebook you have.